Hi everyone, today's class is going to be a 60-minute full Vinyasa flow. For those of you new to my class style, it's kind of like following a bell curve. We'll start closer to the ground, and as we warm up, we'll start to get into some standing series, one breath, one movement. It'll be a little bit quick in the middle, and then we'll start to cool down towards the end. All of my classes do have a little core set at the start, so if you're not feeling core or you just kind of want to take a more chill class, feel free to just sit in child's pose, take child's pose, or shavasana, or whatever feels right for you in that moment. When we do start to go through one breath, one movement, if you find yourself sort of falling behind my cues, don't worry, just follow your own breath, your own cadence. Maybe pause the video and then you can join us later on. This is still all levels. I will be offering sort of different transitions and modifications for different levels, so just do whatever feels right for you, and don't feel like you always need to take my cue is what you need to do. Yeah, so let's get started. Just come into a comfortable seat, so you can sit here in easy pose or on your knees if that feels right for you, and then just let your hands fall wherever they fall. So it can be in your lap, on your knees, on your thighs, palms facing up or down. Just do whatever feels right for you. Then when you kind of find that comfortable spot, I just want you to close your eyes down and just begin to become aware of your breath as you're inhaling the air into your body and then exhaling it out. Inhaling through the nose, opening your mouth and exhaling it out through the mouth. Now we're just going to count the breath here. So we're going to inhale to the count of 4 and exhale to the count of 4. So just following my cues. We're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. And just keep breathing like this, really trying to focus on having equal inhales and equal exhales. So often we take a moment to just sit and focus on our breath. So just take the next few moments to feel your body rise and fall as the breath is inhaled and exhaled. And when you're ready, just gently blinking your eyes open. And just making your way straight into child's pose here. So we're going to take a wide knee child's pose. We're going to bring the feet together and the knees wide. We're going to sink the hips down and back. We're going to walk the hands forward about shoulder width apart, bringing the forehead down to the ground. So you want to feel those hips sinking down and back. You want to feel the armpits sinking down towards the ground. Everything sinking into the floor. If at any time during class you find yourself needing a moment to rest, this is the pose you can take. And when you're ready, we're going to walk the hands over to the left. So you're just walking hands out to the left. You feel the stretch down the right-hand side of your body. And if you want to slightly deepen this, you can bring your right hand on top of your left hand. Still feeling like your right hip bone is trying to reach toward your right heel, really lengthening out through that side body. Then coming back through center, walking your hands over to the right, sinking that left hip down and back. Maybe bringing that left hand on top of the right hand to deepen that stretch. And coming back through center, we're going to make our way to tabletop pose. So Hands are underneath the shoulders, hips are stacked over the knees. We're going to inhale that right arm high to the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to thread it underneath the left arm, bringing the right shoulder down to the ground for thread the needle. Now you can choose to walk your left hand out in front of you here, coming up onto your fingertips. That'll allow you to really roll into that right shoulder. If you want to take this a little deeper, you can wrap that left hand around and grab the right inner thigh. But just do whatever feels right for your body here. And just planting that left hand down, sweeping that right arm up to the sky for a gentle counter twist, and then bringing that right hand back down to the mat. Inhaling the left arm high to the sky, and exhale, threading it underneath the right. Once again, you can walk that right hand forward, coming up onto those fingertips, so you can really roll into that left shoulder. If you want to take this a little deeper, wrapping that right hand around and taking hold of your hip crease. And then releasing that down, playing that right hand down on the ground, inhaling that left arm high to the sky for a gentle counter twist. Then coming back into tabletop pose, so knees are under hips, hands are under your shoulders. We're going to take some cat-cows here. So on the inhale, we're going to arch the spine, looking up. And on the exhale, we're going to round the spine and really push the ground away. Inhale, arch the spine, looking up. And exhale, round the spine, pushing the ground away. Just take a couple more like that at your own breath. Really arching on the inhale and rounding on the exhale. Then after your next exhale, I want you to come back through neutral. Really grounding down through those hands. The pointer fingers are facing forward, so you'll notice there's a slight external rotation of the arms here. So your elbow, the insides of your elbows are they're facing forward. We're going to tuck the toes under, and then we're going to lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. So our hips are a hip distance apart here, and when you look back at your heels, you shouldn't actually see them. They should be behind your toes. So if you notice that you can see your heels on the inside, just rotate your inner thighs towards one another, and you'll notice that pushes your heels out to the sides, and they should disappear behind the rest of your feet. Maybe you'll walk your dog here, bending through one knee and then the other. And then eventually just finding stillness here on your mat. The first down dog of the day is always a little more difficult. You'll notice as the class progresses, this will become infinitely easier. Now we're going to inhale forward to plank pose, top of a push-up. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. We're going to do that twice more. Inhale forward, plank pose. And exhale back, downward facing dog. One more. Inhale forward, plank pose. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale forward plank. We're going to lower the knees down and then lower everything down slowly to the mat. We're just going to warm up the spine here. So we're going to take 3 baby cobras. So hands are underneath the shoulders. Top of the feet are on the mat. We're going to inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest off the ground. Then exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lowering back down. And then one more. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lowering back down. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to come up on the knees. And we're just going to come back through child's pose here. So feet together, knees wide. Just releasing back down into the mat. Just one more breath here. Now we're going to inhale back to our tabletop, tucking those toes under and coming back to downward facing dog.
Now we're gonna walk the feet up to meet the hands at the top of the mat. Just nice and slowly, taking a slight bend in the knees. Just bringing our hands on opposite elbows for ragdoll here. Maybe you'll sway side to side. Maybe you'll shake the head yes and no, releasing through the neck. And then just gently releasing the hands and rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way to standing here. Now we're going to take 3 Surya Namaskar A's here. So if you're a regular practicing yogi, you can feel free to take this at your own breath. But for the rest of you, I'll cue. We're going to take the first version modified, and then the next 2 will be the full Surya Namaskar A. So we're going to inhale, reach up, look up to the sky, hands together. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back to plank pose. Exhale, lower the feet down, shift the weight forward, lowering all the way down to your bellies. Inhale, baby cobra. Then exhaling back down to the mat. Inhale, making your way back to plank pose. Then exhale back, downward facing dog. Just 3 breaths here. One more. Now on your next exhale, we're going to hop, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, reaching all the way up to the sky, hands together. And exhaling, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, step it back to plank. Inhale, shift the weight forward. And exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Last breath. On your next exhale, we're going to hop, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up all the way up to the sky, hands together. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Last one here. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step or jumping back to plank. Inhale, shift the weight forward. And exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Now, as I promised, all of my classes have a little core set. So now that we're a little bit warmer, we're just gonna hop straight down onto a seat on our mat. So we prepare to just warm up our core, which is so important for all poses in yoga. So coming straight into a seat and then making your way into boat pose Navasana. So you might choose to take your Navasana here with your hands behind your thighs, and you might release your hands by your sides. If you're feeling really strong, you can straighten those legs. I recommend staying here because by the end of this, you will be exceptionally warm. Lowering down halfway. And then exhale up, lowering down halfway, and exhale up. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Now we're gonna come all the way down onto our backs. We're gonna take those feet high to the sky. We're just gonna do toe taps here. So we're gonna reach high, and then inhale down. Exhaling up, inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Now we're gonna take the hands just into the lower back, just to support the lower back here. Keeping the feet high to the sky. And we're just gonna do leg lowers here. So we're gonna lower down halfway, and then exhale up. Lower down halfway, and exhale up. If you can feel your lower back lifting off the ground here. I just want you to take alternating legs. So you take the left leg down and up, and then the right leg down and up. This is still giving you a great core activation, but it's just taking that pressure off of the lower back. We've got 4 more. 3, 2, last one here, 1. Now we're going to stack the knees directly over the hips, interlace the hands behind the head. And now we're going to do bicycles here. So we're going to straighten that left leg and twist to the right, hooking that left elbow towards the right knee, and then back to center. Twisting left, back to center. Twisting right, back to center. So you're going to exhale on the twist, inhale, center. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Now we have 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Giving yourself a quick hug, bring those knees into your chest, and bring your soles of your feet on the ground, and hands, palms flat on the ground beside you. We're going to do some ankle taps here. So we're just going to lift the chest and shoulders off the ground, and we're going to tap our right ankle with our right hand, left ankle, left hand, right, left. This is a nice way to warm up the obliques. Don't forget to breathe. Right, left, right, left, right, left. We have 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those knees in, giving yourself a little hug. Maybe you'll draw some little circles. And then rocking yourself up and back into plank pose. Shifting the weight forward, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog, and just take a moment here to stretch out through the core. Maybe you'll look over your right shoulder and then your left shoulder. Coming back through center, then rolling over those toes for downward facing dog. Now I'm going to inhale the right leg up and back, and then exhale, step it between the hands. We're going to ground down through that left hand and take the right arm high to the sky for an easy twist. It's really activating through that straight leg, reaching that right hand towards the sky, and bringing that right hand down to frame the foot, lowering the back knee down and coming up into a low lunge. Now, in our low lunge here, we want that front knee stacked over that front ankle. The arms are reaching long, but the shoulders are away from the ears, so just think about drawing those shoulders down and back while still reaching the arms long. I'm just going to plant the hands down on either side of that front foot, and then we're going to straighten that front leg for half split. Adho Manasana. So just flex those toes back towards your face. Drawing the right hip back. Maybe you'll find that you have a little bit more space if you bend through that front knee. And then just rocking the weight forward and bringing yourself back up into a low lunge. Hands high. And on the exhale, we're going to cactus the arms, drawing the shoulder blades together, really looking up towards the sky. We're going to tuck those back toes under. And on the inhale, we're just going to straighten through that back leg and straighten those arms straight up into a crescent lunge or a high lunge here. So that front knee is still as 90 degrees you can get it. It's quite early here in the morning, so I'm a little bit tighter, but you've noticed throughout the practice that you'll begin to have more movement. Now we're going to sweep the arms back and lean the body weight forward for arrowhead. And then on your next inhale, gently shift the weight from your back foot and straight into aeroplane pose here. So the arms are still reaching back. The shoulder blades are drawing together. You're arching through the spine, almost like a little baby cobra, kicking through that back heel. And then we're just gonna fold into standing splits, hands on the ground, that back foot lifting high, releasing through the neck. And then when you're ready, that left foot meets the right, the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Just gonna move through that same sequence on the left here. So we're gonna inhale the left leg up and back. And exhale, step up between the hands. I'm gonna ground down through that right hand. Take the left hand high to the sky, easy twist. Really lengthening through that back leg. And bring that left hand down to frame the front foot, lowering the back knee down to the ground. Then inhaling up into your low lunge. So same thing here. Think about having that front knee stacked over the front ankle. Your arms are really reaching long towards the sky, but making sure you're not shrugging those shoulders into your ears. Now we're gonna plant the hands down to frame the front foot. Just shift the hips back, the weight back to lengthen through that front leg. Flexing through the toes. Then bringing the weight back into that front foot and coming back into your low lunge here. Now on the exhale, we're going to cactus the arms, really drawing the shoulder blades together, maybe looking up to the sky. We're going to tuck the back toes under. And then on the inhale, we're just going to lengthen that back leg up, taking the arms high to the sky for a crescent lunge or a high lunge here. Then we're going to lean the body weight forward, shoot the arms back so we're in an arrowhead here. Really drawing those shoulder blades together behind you. And then we're going to move all the weight into that front foot, lifting that back foot off the ground, coming into aeroplane pose here. So hands are still reaching back behind you. You're kicking through that back foot and you're kind of arching through the spine, kind of like a baby cobra. One more breath. And on the exhale, folding into standing splits, taking those hands to the ground, letting that back foot lift high towards the sky. And on your next exhale, bring that right foot down to meet your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Shifting forward on the inhale, lowering down halfway on the exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Now we're going to go through that same flow, but it's going to be a little quicker because we're going to go one breath, one movement. So just follow along, and as I said, if you start to fall behind, feel free to pause the video or just take child's pose. Just do whatever feels right for your body. So on the next inhale, we're gonna lift the right leg up. And on the exhale, stepping it between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, easy twist, right arm to the sky. Exhale, plant that right hand down, lower the back knee down. Inhale up, low lunge. Then exhale, fold, half split. Inhale up, low lunge. Exhale, bending through those arms, cactus your arms, tucking the back toe under. Then inhaling straight up into crescent lunge, lengthening through that back leg. Exhale, arrowhead, reaching the hands behind you. And then inhale, airplane pose, lifting that back leg off the ground. And then exhale, folding, standing splits. Inhale, left leg meets right at the top of your mat. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shifting the weight forward, and exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up and back, and exhale, step it between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, left arm to the sky, easy twist. Exhale, planting that left hand down, lowering that back knee down. Inhale up, low lunge. Exhale, folding into half split. Inhale up, low lunge. Exhale, cactusing the arms, tucking the back toes under. Inhaling straight up into high lunge, crescent lunge, lengthening through the back leg. Then exhale, arrowhead, reaching the hands back behind you, leaning the body weight forward. Inhale into airplane pose, kicking back through that back heel, reaching the hands back behind you. Then exhale, folding into standing splits. Inhale, bringing the right foot to meet the left. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shifting the weight forward. Exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. We're gonna do that one more time here. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step it between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, right arm to the sky, easy twist. Exhale, lowering the back knee down, hands to the ground. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, playing those hands down, half split. Inhaling back through low lunge. Exhale, cactus in your arms, tucking those back toes under. Inhale, straight up into crescent lunge. Exhale, arrowhead, reaching the hands behind you. Inhale, straight into aeroplane pose, kicking that back leg out behind you. Exhale, fold, standing splits. Inhale, left leg meets right on top of your mat. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down, halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog, last side here. Inhale, left leg up and back. And exhale, step it between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, left arm to the sky, easy twist. Exhale, plant that left hand down, lower the back knee down. Inhale, low lunge. And then exhale, straight into half split, straighten that front leg. Inhale, back to low lunge, arms high. Exhale, cactusing through the arms, tucking those back toes under. Then inhaling straight up into crescent lunge or high lunge. Exhale, sweeping the hands back behind you, arrowhead. Inhale, aeroplane pose, kicking that back leg out behind you. Then exhale, fold, standing splits, hands to the ground. Inhale, right leg meets left on the top of your mat. Then exhale, forward fold. This time I want you to stay in your forward fold. Now I just want you to take your peace fingers around your big toes. And then just on the inhale, lengthen through the spine. And the exhale, fold, pulling yourself down towards the ground. Now you can bend your knees a lot here and thinking about bringing your lower belly to your upper thighs. And then if you want to try straightening your legs but keeping that contact between your belly and your upper thighs. So you'll notice if you straighten your legs all the way, you'll lose that contact. So just find the happy medium here. Maybe shaking your head from side to side. And then gently releasing those toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back, downward facing dog. Now we're going to start to build out our second flow here. So inhale the right leg up and back. Then exhale, step it between the hands. This time we're coming straight up into our high lunge or our crescent lunge. So front knee stacked over that front ankle. Arms are high to the sky. So similar setup here to our low lunge. Just a couple of breaths here. Should be feeling the stretch up the left hip flexor. And then on the next exhale, we're just going to open up into warrior two. So with our warrior two, the back heel is parallel with the back of the mat. That front foot is facing forward. And I just want you to take a look at this knee here and try and think about that knee lining up with your middle toe. Your hands are reaching out long in line with those legs. Your gaze is over those right fingertips. Maybe sink a little deeper on your next exhale. Now we're going to inhale, flip the front palm and reverse our warrior. Just painting the sky as we go. Still sinking down into that right knee. And then on your next exhale, coming straight into side angle here. So bringing that right forearm on that right thigh, reaching that left arm through and long. Really grounding down through that back heel. Now we're going to inhale back up to warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg, reach as far forward as we can with those right fingertips. Then opening up into Trikonasana, bringing that right hand down to the shin or to the ground. That left arm is reaching high to the sky. So you might find yourself here with your hand or you're on your ankle or on the ground. Just do whatever feels right for you here. Just making sure you're not locking out through this front knee. Now we're going to glance down to the ground at about a foot in front of our right foot. We're going to bend through that knee. We're going to plant that hand down. We're going to come straight up into half moon pose here. So the back foot is really kicking out. That left arm is reaching high to the sky. And that right hand, you're using it for balance here. And you might play around with taking that right hand off the ground. Or maybe you keep that right hand down and take your gaze towards the sky. And then when you're ready, just bringing the left leg down to meet the right, the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shifting the weight forward. Exhale, lower down, halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhaling back, downward facing dog. Inhaling the left leg high to the sky. And exhale, stepping it between your hands, coming up into a high lunge on the other side. So lengthening through that back leg. Arms are reaching long to the sky. On your next exhale, you're going to open up into warrior two on the other side. So bending through that front knee, grounding down through that back heel, that back foot parallel with the back of the mat. Hands are reaching long. And sinking a little deeper on your next exhale. We're going to flip the front palm and reverse our warrior here. Keeping the bend in that front knee. And then coming straight through to side angle pose. Left forearm, left knee, right arm reaching up and long. And inhale back into warrior two. I'm going to straighten that front leg, reach as far forward as we can with those left fingertips. Bring those left hand down to the shin or to the ground. And that right arm high to the sky for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Then just glancing down at that left foot, bending through that front knee, taking your hands about a foot in front of that left foot, and then just lifting that back leg off the ground, coming into half moon pose. And again, you can play with different variations here. So you might look down at the ground, but lift that left arm off the ground. Or you might keep that left hand on the ground and take your gaze up towards the sky. One more breath. And then on the exhale, bringing that right foot to meet the left on your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Now, just like we did with our first flow, we're gonna flow through this one breath, one movement. So once again, if you feel yourself falling behind, or if you just need a break, feel free to take child's pose or pause the video. But we'll get started here. So inhale the right leg up and back. And exhale, step it between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhaling straight up into high lunge, crescent lunge. And on the exhale, opening up into warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, coming straight into side angle, right forearm, right knee. Inhale back, warrior two. Exhale, straighten that front leg, reach forward with that right hand. Then inhale, open up, Trikonasana. Exhale, bend through that front knee, planting the hand down. Inhaling straight up into half moon. Then exhale, forward fold, the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to chaturanga. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, step it between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, arms to the sky, high lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, keeping the bend in that front knee. And exhale, coming through to side angle pose, right arm reaches long. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, straighten that front leg, reach forward with those left fingers. And then inhale, opening up, Trikonasana. Exhale, bend through the front knee, planting that left hand down. And then inhale, coming straight up into half moon. Wobbles are okay here. Then exhale, forward fold on your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back to plank pose. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step it between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhaling straight up into high lunge. And exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, coming straight into side angle, right forearm, right knee, left arm reaches long. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten that front leg, reaching forward with those fingertips. Inhale, opening up, Trikonasana. Exhale, bend through the front knee, planting that right hand down on the ground. Inhale, half moon pose. Then exhale, forward fold on your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to chaturanga. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog, last side here. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, step it between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, up into crescent lunge. And exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, straight into side angle here, right arm reaches long.
Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten that front leg, reaching forward with those left fingertips. Inhale, Trikonasana. Exhale, bending through that front knee, planting that left hand down on the ground, reaching that right leg up and back, half moon pose. And then exhale, forward fold on your mat. Just staying here in your forward fold. We're gonna take gorilla. So we're gonna bring those hands underneath the feet, bringing the toes right up into the wrist creases. And then just bending your knees. Once again, bring that connection between your upper thighs and your lower belly. Maybe shaking your head out. Maybe straightening through those legs a little. And just gently releasing that. We're gonna come down into a yogi squat here. So taking your feet as wide as your mat or a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Bring your hands, your elbows inside your knees, your hands together in front of your heart, closing the eyes down. You might find that it's really hard for you to get your heels on the ground, and you might find that you're more here. That's totally fine. Everyone has different ankle flexibility, so just find a pose that feels comfortable for you. Sometimes I like to sit on a block here just to take the pressure off. So if you have a block or something you can sit on, that might feel good. I'm just gonna plant the right hand down on the ground outside that right knee, and taking the left arm high to the sky for a little twist. If you wanna take a bind here with your arms, you can. My arms aren't quite long enough to do a full bind. And just coming back through center, hands together in front of your heart. Then bringing that left hand down outside that left knee, taking the right arm high to the sky. And coming back through center. Now we're gonna play a little bit with crow pose here. It's my favorite little balance to add into the middle of a flow. So I'm gonna turn on the side here. I like to bring my feet together for crow. And then I take my knees as wide as they were just then in yogi squat. The hands are down the shoulder distance apart, so the same way you'd have them for plank. And the way to think about crow is that you want a 90-degree angle here. So you're basically creating a shelf. So your arms are chaturanga arms, and that's what gives you the power and the leverage to be able to hold your body, the rest of your body up. So feet together, knees wide, hands are down, shoulder distance apart, pointer fingers facing forward. You're gonna shift the weight forward, bring those knees onto the back of the little shelf you're creating. And you might just come here with one leg up, then lift the other leg. We call this walking your crow. If that's all that's in your practice today, just keep practicing that. That'll build the core strength to be able to lift. If you want to go a little further, feet together, knees wide, hands are down to shoulder distance apart, pointer fingers facing forward. We're going to rock the weight forward, bring those knees on the back of the triceps. And then we're going to play with lifting one foot and then the other foot. Squeezing the heels in towards the butt will give you a little bit more balance and power. Staying here. And then if you want to take that one step further, I'm going to move a little bit forward on my mat. Everyone's going to meet back here in downward facing dog, so you can take a vinyasa. If you want to try jumping back from your crow, we're going to feet together, knees wide, hands at shoulder distance apart. We're going to bend into those elbows, coming straight up into our crow pose, drawing the feet together. And when you're ready to shoot back, just think about straightening through the arms and letting your body naturally fall. Inhale up, up dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Now, we're gonna take some heart openers here. So we're gonna inhale, shift the weight forward, then exhale, lowering down all the way onto our bellies. We're just gonna take just a couple of seconds here, just to gain back some breath. I don't know about you, but I'm struggling to talk and demo at the same time. And I just need a moment here to recuperate. And then when you're ready, we're gonna
turn the chin towards center. We're going to zip the legs up so the inner thighs, the ankles, everything is touching. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back. We're going to exhale the air out, and on the inhale, we're going to lift up into locust pose here. So really rolling those shoulder blades together, reaching those hands back towards your feet, lifting the chest off the ground. One more inhale here, lifting up as high as you can. And exhale, lowering down, opposite ear to the mat. And coming back through center, we're going to interlace the hands again, but this time we're going to do it the weird way. So opposite thumb on top. It'll feel a little odd and you might feel like you have less space in your shoulders. Zipping the legs up together. Exhale all the air out. And on the inhale, lifting up again, locust pose. So really drawing those shoulder blades together, reaching those hands back towards your feet. Giving a nice long line through your neck. One more breath here. And exhale, lowering down. Now we're going to go through one more back bend here. So you can choose to take a locust again, or if you're feeling a little stronger, you can reach back for those ankles. We're going to go into down Rastenburg pose here. So feet are hip distance apart, knees are hip distance apart. You're grabbing hold of your ankles, your feet, whatever's in reach. Same thing, we're going to exhale all the air out. And then inhale, kicking those hands into those feet, flexing through the toes, really drawing those shoulder blades together. One more breath here. And then releasing everything down slowly to the mat. This time I want you to windshield wipe your feet from side to side just to release through the lower back. And then release those feet to the ground, planting your hands underneath your shoulders, and just making your way back to downward facing dog. You can take a vinyasa here if you feel like you want another one. If not, going straight back into our down dog. And inhale the right leg up and back, and exhale, step it between the hands. We're gonna bring that right hand on the inside of that right foot and wiggle the right foot out to the right. Then we're gonna lower that back knee down. So we're in our lizard pose here. So you might immediately feel that you're quite tight here. You might wanna stay here. But if you feel like you have a little bit more room, you might try coming down onto those elbows. I also like to play with rolling onto the outer edge of that right foot. I find that moves the stretch into a different part of my hip. But just do whatever feels right for you here. Now you can choose to stay here in lizard if this is still quite intense, which for many people it will be. Or you can ground down through that left hand, swing that right arm up and back, and use it to grab a hold of that left foot. This is quite an intense quad stretch, so if you find yourself cramping or it just doesn't feel nice anymore, then just come back into lizard. But this is a twist, so think about opening your chest up towards the sky behind you. And gently releasing that down. We're gonna plant the hands back down inside our feet. So if you're on your elbows coming up onto your hands, we're gonna lift the back leg under. And then we're gonna wiggle that right foot all the way across towards our left wrist. And we're gonna bring that right knee down behind our right wrist. We're coming straight into half pigeon here. So you might wanna lift that back foot up and tuck that back leg, take that back leg back a little bit. And you might find that this is already quite intense. I have really tight hips, so I can feel this already. If your butt is quite far off the ground, you can tuck a pillow there or a block, whatever your body needs. And as you stay here, you might find that you can
come down a little bit further. So maybe coming down onto your elbows. And then you might come all the way down into a sleeping pigeon, bringing that forehead down onto the ground. And when you're ready, making your way back up onto your hands, tucking those back toes under, lifting that back leg off the ground, and just sweeping that right foot straight back into your downward facing dog. You can lift that right leg up and bend through the knee and wiggle out through the hip, making circles if that feels good for you. And just eventually coming back into your down dog. You're gonna inhale the left leg up and back. And exhale, step it between the hands. Wiggling that left foot out to the left, bring that left hand down inside the left foot, lowering the back knee down to the ground. So we're back in our lizard pose here on the left side. And you might notice that immediately this feels completely different to the other side. So it might take you longer to melt into the pose. So maybe you'll come down onto your elbows, if that feels right for you. Maybe you'll try rolling onto the outer edge of that left foot. Now you can stay here, or as we did on the other side, you can round down through that right hand. You can reach the left arm around and back and take hold of that right foot for a quad stretch. And then just gently releasing that down to the ground. We're gonna bring that left hand down to the ground. We're gonna wiggle that right foot, or left foot all the way across to behind our right wrist. Maybe lifting that back leg off the ground to help you move it. Then dropping that left knee down behind the left wrist. So we're back in our pigeon pose here. I like to scoop my right leg back just a little bit to give me some more space. And then same as on the other side, you might start here on your hands. And as you feel your hips releasing, you can come down onto your elbows. And then when you're ready, you might be able to make your way into full sleeping pigeon. And then just gently walking your hands back in underneath your shoulders, tucking those back toes under to lift your back leg off the ground. And then just sweeping that left leg back straight into downward facing dog. Once again, you might lift that left leg off the ground and just take gentle hip circles, bending through the knee. And lowering that left foot to the ground. This is your last down dog here, so just take any more movements that your body needs here and just move whatever way feels good. And then when you're ready, we're gonna hop straight through and come down onto our backs. I'm gonna do just a couple little back bends here. So just rolling down really slowly. We're gonna bring the feet in towards the butt. Many yoga teachers like to say your fingers should graze the back of your heels. My arms are actually really quite short, so I find that cue really hard, but just lay your hands alongside the ground beside you, playing your palms down into the ground, just as close as your feet to your feet as you can get them. Think about sucking your lower back and your stomach back down into the ground, really flattening out that space. And then
Gently rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae, starting from the hip, the lower back, the mid back, all the way up through the lumbar spine, and then into the upper back. And you can choose just to stay here, or you might interlace those hands underneath you, really rolling those shoulder blades under, allowing you to open up through the chest. Grounding down through those heels, lifting those hips up a little higher. Then unleashing those hands and just rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae down to the ground. Taking your feet as wide as your mat, or just as wide than hip distance, and letting those knees knock together in the middle. Now we're going to take another back bend here. So bring those feet back to hip distance apart. Grounding down through those heels, flattening the stomach and the lower spine down into the ground. It's like a slight rocking back, and then lifting up vertebrae by vertebrae. Interlacing the hands the opposite way, so opposite thumb on top. Rolling those shoulder blades together. Just taking deep breaths here. Lifting the hips up a little higher. Releasing those hands down and then lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. Taking those feet wide again, letting those knees knock together in the middle. Now we're going to take one more back bend here, and you can choose to take bridge if that's in your practice, which is what we just did. If you want to take wheel, I'm going to walk you through that. I have really tight shoulders, so my wheel is going to look a little different to everyone else's and to all the other yogis that you see with beautiful deep back bends. But we're going to flip the hands over behind our heads next to our ears. We're going to ground down through those toes and those feet. I like to inhale to the top of my head, ground down through the feet, readjust myself, and then push straight up into wheel. Now if you're finding it really tight here, you might come up onto your toes. That'll give you a little bit more space. Really pushing your chest out towards those hands. And then when you're ready, just lowering back down slowly to the ground. This time we're going to take our knees wide and the soles of our feet together. We're going to bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And just feel the breath rise and fall. I think it's really important when you take yoga classes, especially yoga classes online, where you can really see what the other person is doing. It's really important that you don't compare yourself, because everyone's body is different. I often found that I used to compare myself to people that, had really long legs and arms, and realized that, I just can't make every bind. It's just physically impossible in my body. But because I'm smaller, I have a lot of power, and I can do a lot of balancing poses a lot easier because I have a low center of gravity. So I take my wins where I can have them, and I accept that not every pose is accessible for everyone. So just know that your body is unique and beautiful and different, and there are just poses that are made for you and poses that are made for other people. Just releasing those hands, bringing your knees in towards your chest, and just making your way into a seat here. I'm just going to do a couple of seated poses before we get into our Shavasana. So I'm going to straighten the right leg out. I'm going to bring the sole of the left foot in to the right inner thigh. We're going into Janu Sirsasana here. So I'm going to inhale the arms high to the sky and just twist towards that straight leg, and then just folding over that straight leg. If you find that you can't reach your feet, that's fine. Just bring your hands down to the ground or down to your shin. Just do what feels right for you. If you want something a little deeper, I like to take my right hand around the left part of my foot and the left arm around the right part of my foot. I find that little cross takes me just that little bit deeper and creates more of a stretch up the side of my body.
And then just gently rolling up to seated. We're going to cross that right hand onto our left knee and then reach the left arm up and over towards that straight leg. And then just coming back and then swapping legs. So straightening that left leg out, bringing that sole of the right foot into your left inner thigh. Inhaling the arms high to the sky, twisting a little bit towards that straight leg and then folding. Once again, just let your hands fall wherever feels comfortable for you. If you want to take that slightly deeper stretch, taking the right hand around the pinky side of your foot and the left hand around the big toe side of your foot. Then coming back up through center, I'm going to take the left hand to the right knee, twisting towards that right knee, and reaching the right arm up and over towards the flexed left foot. And coming back through center, I'm going to straighten both of those legs out. Remove the flabby bits from our butt so we're sitting right on our sit bones. Inhaling the arms high to the sky, then exhale, fold. Now if you can't reach your toes, I want you to try bending your knees here. Think about what we did in those other forward folds, bringing that lower belly to the upper thighs, and then bringing your hands to your feet. You might find that as you do this, each time that bend will be smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually you can reach those feet. And then just releasing those feet, and then rolling down really slowly onto our backs. Now we're going to draw the right knee into the chest. Take the right arm out to cactus arms or to a T. And just letting the right knee fall over to the left hand side of your body. And coming back through center, straightening that right leg out, drawing that left knee into your chest. Taking that left arm out to a T or to a cactus arm, and then letting that left knee fall over to the right. And coming back through center. Taking our last pose, or second to last pose here, before Shavasana. Drawing those knees into your armpits. Grabbing your hands around the outside of your feet. We're in happy baby pose here. And then I want you to hug everything in. Bring your forehead towards your knees. Squeeze everything in really tight. Take one more breath, and then the exhale, releasing down into Shavasana here. Just letting your feet hang out towards the side, and taking a moment to get comfortable, letting your hands fall out to the sides. And we're just going to rest here for a couple of minutes. I'll call you out of Shavasana when it's time, but feel free to stay in Shavasana longer, or if you have to leave now, feel free to do that. I do recommend taking the rest if you have time though.
Just gently becoming aware of the breath in your body. Feeling your chest rise and fall. You can choose to stay here a little longer. If you're ready, you can begin to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. Maybe circling your wrists and your ankles. Bringing a hand to your belly and your heart. Just thanking yourself for taking this time out of your day to move your body. Just bending through one leg and then the other. And then rolling to one side, using your arm as a pillow. And gently pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. This is where we started practice today. Letting your hands rest in your thighs, in your lap or on your thighs. Just notice this sense of peace that you've cultivated for yourself. And see if you can carry that through the rest of your day. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, prayer hands. I honor the space inside you, in which the entire universe dwells. There's a place of peace and love and truth and happiness. And when you're in that place in you, and I'm in that place in me, we are one. Namaste.